Apps can do a lot of cool things. You could order dinner, gamble on your favorite team, and track your health. You could even get a mortgage. One click and you can be approved. I'm not sure by who or what country they're in. You deserve more from the mortgage industry. At AnyMac Home Mortgage, we believe in the need for live human interaction during a very complex process. The kind of service and guidance which an app simply can't provide. Our customers are more than credit scores and income documents. They're individuals and families who live in and strengthen our communities. Their story is our story, and that story begins in a home. Chris Sawyer is an expert on providing superior customer service and in meeting the mortgage needs of current and future homebuyers. With over 18 years of experience in the industry, Chris is able to help customers migrate through the home buying and home financing process by using his wealth of knowledge as a well-qualified mortgage professional. And best of all, Chris is located in Cromwell, Connecticut, where he has helped hundreds of clients in Connecticut, Massachusetts, and Rhode Island make their dreams of homeownership a reality. Visit chrissawyer.any-mac.com. Email him at csawyer@any-mac.com or give him a call, 860-878-8730.
Chris Sawyer, NMLS number 39345, corporate NMLS number 338923. AnyMac Home Mortgage is an equal housing lender. American Neighborhood Mortgage Acceptance Company, LLC. DBA AnyMac Home Mortgage. Low FI Direct. Connecticut First Mortgage Correspondent. License lender. Broker number ML 338923. Massachusetts Mortgage Lender and Mortgage Broker License number MC 338923. Rhode Island License Lender. License number 2011280L. Call for additional details.
Jones on first down. Wide open. It's Barkley. And Saquon Barkley will take it into the end zone.
Your best ability is his availability. Saquon Barkley, he's great when he's on the field, but the problem is since 2018, he hasn't been healthy for this team.
Look at this. They lob it to him. He taps it in off the glass. How about that?
Porter Moser, I think right now is the best coach of college basketball, hands down.
Fins 2 for 3. He's done his part.
Pitch is drilled to deep right field toward the pole, and it is gone.
They don't mind not being what they were in the 90s as the best organization in baseball, because the Yankees aren't even close to the best organization in baseball.
You're trying to be the Rays, and the Rays do this for a reason. Like, you're the Yankees.
Welcome to Sports Talk with RJ. I am Steve Risser, along here with Justin D'Onofrio, and it is a great day to be a Yankee fan as the time as it finally happened. Aaron Judge this morning signed with the New York Yankees, 9 years, $360 million, $40 million a year. I know it's a lot of money. I know it's a lot of years, but this team needed to re-sign this player. Knowing the season he had last year, hitting 61 home runs, having over 130, having in 61 home runs and having over 130 RBIs, they needed to re-sign this player in the worst way. That was probably one of the best seasons I've ever seen a player have last year. Outside of Bonds in 2001, that was the best season I've ever seen a player have. He was absolutely phenomenal. He rightfully so won the American League MVP. And you got to give credit to the Yankee brass, Hal Steinbrenner and Brian Cashman, for getting this done and having this guy in pinstripes for almost the next decade.
Yeah, it was huge to get him back, for having the outstanding season that he did. Yeah, it's only a matter of time now before they can give him the captain spot. I don't know if you saw this from Andy Martino, who works, who's with SNY. It sounded like, because the Padres and Giants were close to offering $400 for him. Hal Steinbrenner called Judge last night and said, asked him if he wanted to be a Yankee. Judge said yes, but he wanted that 9th year. So Hal personally gave him the 9-year contract. Because that's, I kind of had a bad feeling yesterday it was going to be the Giants, but yeah, I think Hal knew the pressure that if they did not sign Aaron Judge, what it was going to do to this fan base. And I think takes a little bit of pressure off of Hal, but they still got to go out there and win a World Series now with the contract to Judge, with Cole and with Stan. It's the same thing with Cole. Cole wanted that 9th year. The Angels are going to give it to him as well. So it's a lot of money, yes, but for the year he had, it's huge.
The Yankees had to do this. The Yankees had no choice. They had to do this. I mean, the outrage of the fan base, if they would have brought back Boone and they would have brought back Cashman, they wouldn't have brought back Judge, they would have had no chance next year. They would have absolutely no chance because this fan base would have not been behind the team going into the season if they didn't bring back Aaron Judge. The Yankees needed to bring back Aaron Judge. And now, yes, the pressure is on the Yankees. The pressure is definitely on them. And I think the person who's under the most pressure next year is Aaron Boone. Aaron Boone has got to get to the World Series. If Aaron Boone doesn't get to the World Series, he has got to be fired. If they can't get past the Astros next year, they need to get rid of Aaron Boone.
Yeah, because it'd be year 6 for him, especially if he doesn't even get to a game 7 like you already did. I know we mentioned a lot. Like he hasn't even gotten back to that point yet. And yeah, right now they haven't done much, and the Astros, they did lose Verlander, but they got Jose Abreu. So, the Astros are going to be the favorite once again. But yeah, this team still has to get a little bit better. Hopefully there's another pitcher coming in, and hopefully Benintendi gets re-signed. But yeah, there's a ton of pressure. It's been a while. They haven't even got the World Series since 2009. It's been a long time. And yeah, there's going to be a ton of pressure on Boone. The way it ended this year too, in October, yeah, to get swept like that, it's a fan base where, especially if they don't get out to a fast start, it's gonna be the same thing. It's, everybody's gonna be looking for somebody to lose their job over it.
Exactly. And I mean, the thing is yeah, this is a time though for the Yankees where the regular season is now is becoming more and more irrelevant. This team has got to get it done in October. This team has not gotten it done in October. They've been close the last, 5-6 years, but they haven't been able to get over the hump, especially against the Houston Astros. And if this team, and if this team doesn't, there's going to be changes. And I think with the manager next year, because they're spending a lot of money on key players. They're spending almost $40 million a year on guys on Giancarlo Stanton, Aaron Judge, and Garrett Cole. When you're spending that kind of money, you can't be not going to the World Series. You got to be getting to a World Series. That's why the expectation for the Yankees this year is getting to the World Series. They have to get to the World Series.
Yeah, it absolutely is. That's always should be the goal with the Yankees, but because it hasn't happened in 13 years, it's kind of something where, yeah, they keep telling us that that's the goal, but they haven't been there. Yeah, so according to Sports Track, they're up to just over $200 million spent so far. So there's still a little kind of room left to kind of sign some guys. But yeah, like even if they got to go with the luxury tax just to get the team better, then you got to do it at this point. Yeah, because again, they're the Houston's still definitely right now better than them, but you can add a couple more guys here, then you're right there with them. But yeah, Boone, this organization, there's a lot of pressure on this team right now. For the way they finished, and yeah, the regular season they've been great, but like something like Judge, he's been a career 211 hitter in the postseason. That's gotta improve this year, especially that pretty much that whole team's got to improve because the whole team really, or most of the guys really did struggle this postseason. Stanton, had a down postseason. He's usually been pretty good. So yeah, this whole team's got to figure it out in the postseason because the bats just have gone silent the last couple of years.
Absolutely. And you said it. Judge has got it. Now he's got to perform in the postseason. You got this 9-year deal. You get $40 million a year. You better perform in the postseason, or you're going to hear it. You're going to hear it from Yankee fans. Yankee fans, you get paid. They gave you $40 million now. You better perform in the postseason.
Yeah. He heard the boos last year for the outstanding year he had. So again, I think he already knows that there's, doesn't matter how good he's going to do in the regular season. If he's not performing in the postseason, he may hear the boos. Now, maybe unfair at times. Yes, but I think he understands it, and yeah, he's got to, especially now that he's gonna be the captain. He's got to perform in big moments. They need him to step up in big moments. Stan's usually right behind him. So yeah, Judge, it's gonna be huge for him in the postseason to come up clutch because Jeter did it a bunch, and there's a lot of similarities I feel like off the field with him and Jeter. Jeter was such a clutch hitter. Judge hit a bunch of game winners this year for him, but yeah, nothing really in the postseason. But yeah, I think Judge kind of knows that he's got to perform better in the postseason.
Without question, without a doubt, he's got to perform better in the postseason. And I like the Derek Jeter comparison. He says all the right things. He's loved by the fan base. That's why I think that's the big reason why they did this, and that's why I think the big reason why he ended up taking less money to stay with the Yankees because he knows there's a fan base out there that loves him, and that's why maybe the Giants or Padres offered him more money, but I think he wanted to stay with the Yankees because of how loved he was with the fan base and thinking, I could be the next captain. I could be like Derek Jeter.
Yeah, absolutely. I definitely think that's one of the things too that probably went into wanting him to come back. From everything I've read too, like he from people that have kind of talked to people close to him, he's a pretty loyal guy and he likes to kind of finish what he started, so I think that too. And where, he's been a guy, the captain, and you're playing in a market too, New York, where I know that, I know we've talked about where they've struggled in the postseason, but you do know every single year that the Yankees are going to be in it. They're going to be in the postseason hunt. And we've seen the last couple, last year the Giants were kind of down. San Diego, I know has been better, but it's been an organization too that's kind of struggled, for a while. So I think too, knowing that coming to New York, staying in New York, you're going to have a chance to win it every single year.
Absolutely. And now this leads us to our first question. Are the Yankees the best team in baseball right now with him back? I'm going to say no. I'm going to say no because I think the bullpen needs to improve for the Yankees. I don't mind the rotation. Cole's got to be a little bit better next year. Nestor, I think I like him as the number 2. Severino, they just signed Tyone. I think the lineup.
Tyone's going to Chicago.
Oh, go to Chicago. Okay, he's signed with he's signed in Chicago. Okay, so Tyone's in Chicago. So that definitely gives them more of an incentive to go out and get Carlos Rendon. I think that would be a good addition, and they also got to improve their bullpen. So if they could get Rendon and improve their bullpen, I think they arguably are better than the Astros. Because I think their rotation would be close to that because the Astros lost Verlander and in the lineup, I think this lineup, it was good last year, but it wasn't phenomenal. I know they're gonna have trouble getting one of the shortstops because of all the contracts they have. I think they're gonna have trouble getting Bogarts, Correa, or Swanson. I think now they're kind of stuck with IKF at shortstop. But yeah, I think if they want to improve, they want to be better than the Astros. They can't be done now. They got to keep going. They got to try to improve the bullpen or go out and get Carlos Rendon.
Yeah, I'm with you. I still have the Astros mentioned. Abreu, that was a nice signing for him at first base. Yeah, I bet they had somebody at AAA that's ready and is going to be like another guy that may not get all the attention he deserves, but he'll pitch fine for him. They just have not been able get past the Astros. It worries me. So I do like, so right now I do think the Astros are a little better. Yeah, it'd be nice to get Rendon, another lefty. He pitched pretty well last year. He's been pretty good. Spent a lot of time with the White Sox, so he knows the American League pretty well. But yeah, I would love to get another. I'd love to have Benintendi out there as another outfield, or that guy from Japan. I forget his name.
Yeah.
I know. That would be another nice signing. But yeah, it was nice to get Canely back. He's a guy we know pretty well and pitch pretty well in the back end of the bullpen for him. So I saw the Yankees number two right now. But yeah, it's tight. The Blue Jays got better with Bellinger, so we'll see. But yeah, I think they still got a little bit to go. And actually, other baseball news: the Cardinals assigned, according to Jeff Passan, the Cardinals signed Wilson Contreras a 5-year, $87.5 million.
Gotcha. That's good. I mean, he wasn't great last year, but that's going to definitely improve their offense. That's definitely, yeah. I think the thing about the Yankees is the good part for them is they're in the American League. I don't think the American League is as deep as the National League. Because you look at the National League, the NL East, you got the Braves, you got the Phillies, you got the Mets, and then you got the Cardinals, still got the Dodgers. Even though I don't think they'll be as good without Trey Turner. You got the Padres too, beat the Dodgers in the playoffs. So the Yankees, I think, are in the weaker league. I think the American League is a little bit weaker than the NL. So that's why I have this high expectation for Boone to get to a World Series this year. That's why I think if he doesn't, she should be fired. But yeah, I think that right now, I think the Yankees they're in the mix, but I don't think they're the best team.
No, I don't think so either. I think, another couple pieces, they can get pretty close. I until I see them beat the Astros, like even the regular season, they didn't really, they won on 2 walk-offs this year. So until I really start seeing them beat the Astros, the Astros have their number. It's one of those things where I think Astros are in their head and kind of just know, they're pretty confident against them. So yeah, until they beat them, it's I feel like I gotta put the Astros up there, at number 1.
Yes, I think the Astros are I put them ahead of the Yankees right now, but that doesn't mean the Yankees have a very, very good chance of beating them this year. And I think that's got to be the goal. That's got to be the number 1 goal this season is to beat the Astros, or you got to make a change somewhere.
Yeah, you absolutely do. The fan base, again, you saw the fan base this year. Nothing changed at all. You'd think, they don't get it there this year. It's going to be the same thing. It's going to get even louder, I feel like. It's another year where, because, the Yankees really have never been dominated by a team like the Astros. Like it just really hasn't happened. And I think it's a frustrating part. I think the frustrating part too is Boston's won 4 titles since, in the last, 18 years here. So I think it's a lot of frustration from the fan base. And yeah, you fall short again. It's the noise can get even louder, and they're going to have to, you would think they're going to have to make a change.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. And I'm more scared of the Astros than the Red Sox. I feel like since the Red Sox let Dombrowski go, their titles are irrelevant to me. I don't really trust that organization. Even though they made a move today, I really don't trust that organization the way I used to. So the Astros are the big team to me. The Astros and even the Rays and the Blue Jays. Those are the 3 biggest threats for me in the American League going into this year.
Yeah, like right there, the Blue Jays. Yeah, the Orioles are going to be better. I was saying the Red Sox too, just because of just how they've just won so much lately, and Yankee fans really aren't used to that. But yeah, the Red Sox, they had a meeting with Bogart, so we'll see how that went today. But yeah, right there with the Astros, the Blue Jays are going to be good. The Rays have been a thorn at their side. I have to imagine the White Sox play better than they did last year because they have still a pretty good roster. That could be somebody that maybe play better. And again, that Cleveland team too is not going to go anywhere anytime soon with Francona. So yeah, there's some tough competition, but the Yankees should be right there, a little bit behind the Astros right now.
Exactly. Now, our final question with Judge is: will they win a title in the first 5 years of this deal? I think they will. I think Hal's committed now. I think Hal and Cashman are going to find a way to win a title. I think the number one thing is if they don't get to the World Series next year, you get rid of Aaron Boone. You get a manager that's capable of winning a championship, and I think they're going to get it done. I think they will win at least one championship in the first 5 years of this deal.
Yeah, I think so. Again, they're due to have a big postseason. I feel like too, where a couple guys really break out. And at some point, you feel like they got to beat the Astros at some point in the next couple of years. And Altuve's starting to get a little bit older as well. McCullers is up. I think he's early 30s too now. So yeah, you feel like at some point the Yankees got to, break, finally get by them. So yeah, I do think in the next 5 years they find a way to win one of these. I think that's the way the roster is. I think they, they'll find a way in the next couple of years to get a ring.
I think so. I definitely agree. So it's really, really nice to see see that Aaron Judge will be back in pinstripe for the next 9 years. But we got to talk about the other team in New York, and that's the Mets. And on Monday, they signed Justin Verlander to a 2-year, $86 million deal. They pretty much are swapping out Verlander for DeGrom. And the big question is here, is this a better deal for the Mets? Is it better for the Mets to have Verlander for the next 2 years than DeGrom for the next 2 years? And this is a tough one. It's a really hard one, but I got to say yes, because I think that I just can't trust DeGrom to stay healthy. I really can't because the last 2 years, DeGrom just hasn't been able to stay healthy. And Verlander, yes, he's coming off Tommy John surgery. He's older than DeGrom, but I think he's outside of him having Tommy John. He's been healthy for most of his career, and he was great. He was great this year. He won the Cy Young. He was great this year coming back from it.
Yeah, he was. I think so too. Because Verlander had been a guy has pretty much stayed healthy besides the Tommy John he had. He's older, but DeGrom, 35. You would have to give him a 5-year, 6-year contract. I don't know if that arm's going to last that long, for all the arm problems he's had the last couple of years. So, yeah, I know Verlander, besides facing Yankees, hasn't been great in the postseason, but I think, it's a really good move for the Mets. I think it'll work out with him and Scherzer. First time too, Verlander is going to be in the National League, so we'll kind of see how that shakes out. But I think with him and Scherzer, you got a lot of veteran, those 2 veteran presence in that locker room help with Buck. And yeah, I think I would have gone Verlander as well. 2 years, you got the availability, with Verlander. So yeah, I think it's a good move for the Mets, and I think it's better than given what the Rangers gave to DeGrom.
Oh yeah. I think so. I think the Mets. I think they're right there. They really are right there with the Phillies and the Braves. I like their lineup with Alonso, Lindor, McNeil, Marte, and we'll see if they re-sign Nimmo. But I like their lineup. We all know they got one of the best closers in baseball, and Edwin Diaz. And this rotation, we'll see what happens with Bassett, but yeah, they still have Scherzer and DeGrom in this rotation. Scherzer and Verlander, two guys who used to play with each other now in this rotation. So the Mets are in win now mode. the Mets got to win a title within the next 2 to 3 years, or they're going to be in big trouble because Verlander's not getting any younger, and neither is Scherzer.
No, they're not. So yeah, it's another thing. It's been a while for the Mets since they've won one. Yeah, again, they signed up Lindor long term. They got it. Diaz re-signed this offseason. So yeah, for the Mets, it's crucial that they get one of these in the next couple of years. With Showalter as well there. I don't know how much longer he's going to be able to, to manage. And, Cohen kind of, came in here, really changed the energy and all that and kind of the fan base. And yeah, I feel like if they don't win one, next couple of years, there's going to be a lot of pressure on them and the entire kind of front office and the players to find a way to get one of them. So yeah, I feel like there's a lot of pressure for the Mets to win one the next couple of years. We'll see what happens. I know they signed Jose Quintana as well. I think it was 1 year, $6 million. So he didn't pitch bad last year, but he's an older guy as well. But we'll see. That Mets bullpen probably needs another arm or two. But yeah, the Mets got to win one the next couple of years. They're another roster that's pretty talented. That they should be able to get over the hump.
And the thing is, to have Quintana as like your number 3 or 4 starter, you're in good shape there. You're in good shape. The issue for the Mets is the division is absolutely brutal. I mean, the Braves and the Phillies are top teams. The Phillies got even better with what they did with. We'll get to that with signing Trey Turner. But yeah, I mean, the division with those two teams at the top is brutal. I mean, the thing about the Mets is there's a really good chance, just like last year, you're going to be playing in the wild card game just because of how good the 2 teams above them are.
Yeah, that's tough to and even like that pitching staff is so good. I know the lineup's not great,
but they're going to be all the Marlins. I know the pitching staff's good, but they can't hit it all.
No, they can't. But they'll be, they'll play you tough. And but yeah, so it's not going to be an easy division. It's going to be tough. They struggled at the end of the year with the Braves there. I think they started out pretty well against the Phillies, but yeah, that Philly team's going to be pretty good. I know, Harper will miss some time at the beginning of the year. But yeah, it's possible, especially if guys get injured. If there's a couple injuries on the Mets, yeah, things could, they got out to such a hot start last year. They actually have the last couple years. They've really gotten out of the gates pretty fast. They're gonna need to do that again this year because those 2 teams behind with the Phillies and the Braves are 2 of the best teams in the National League and 2 of the best teams in baseball.
Oh, absolutely. So we'll go to a former Met. Now that the Mets signed Verlander, they end up letting Jacob deGrom walk on Friday. The Rangers signed deGrom to a 5-year, $185 million deal. The big question is with the Rangers. They've been spending some money. They went out and paid for Corey Seager. They went out and paid for Marcus Semien. Are the Rangers a playoff team with Jacob deGrom? We know Martin Perez had a pretty good year too, so that's 2 pretty good starters at the top. I still think they're the 3rd best team in that division. I still think Seattle's better, and obviously I think Houston's better. I think they'll be more competitive. I think they'll get to 75 to maybe 80 wins, but I just don't think they're a play. I just don't think that they have enough depth in that rotation. I outside of deGrom and Perez for them to be a playoff team. I think they're a 75 to 80 win team. But I don't think the Rangers are a playoff team with this move.
No, as we talked to, I'm right there. I think they finished like in 8th. I think they just miss out. I think they're better, but I just don't know how many starts you're gonna get out of Jacob deGrom. I know they signed Andrew Heaney too, but he hasn't been great. Like he pitched in the American League West with the Angels. He wasn't great. I know he had a really good year with the Dodgers, so maybe they fixed him. And then Perez is older. I don't know if you can rely on Martin Perez to pitch to an under 3 ERA again. But I can't imagine like Semien, it took him the late May to get a home run last year. Seager got out to very slow start. Like I see those guys getting out to faster starts, which maybe helps. And bringing in Bruce Bochy, is a total difference maker.
That's definitely going to help. I think Bochy's going to help them. They'll be in contention. I think they're like, maybe another starter away, another bat away. And they could get that at the trade deadline from getting to the playoffs.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think so. Yeah, I think they could get some stuff at the trade deadline that helps them that they need. I like Adolis Garcia, the young outfielder. He's played pretty well the last couple of years. But yeah, I think the Rangers are just I think they just miss out. I think I'd probably still take Cleveland a little bit over them. And I think that would probably be the difference maker of getting like that 7th spot. So right now, I think Cleveland just a tad better than them, but I wouldn't be shocked. They may come with a deadline. They find a way to get in there.
Oh yeah, I wouldn't be surprised either. So yeah, as we've seen with the new stadium, the Rangers are really going for it.
Yeah, they are. They spend a lot of money. They brought in Chris Young or Mike Young to be their GM, a couple years ago. So yeah, the Rangers are going for it. It's been like a decade really. When they lost that World Series. So yeah, it's I like how the Rangers are going for it. That really spices up that Houston Texas rivalry down there. Finally in the American League West, gives the Astros a little bit more competition in that division. But yeah, I think they're just a year away. And I like that they are trying to spend and trying to get better. But they're just right now they're close, but I don't think they're there yet.
Yep. So now circling back to the NL East, Trey Turner signs with the Phillies, 11 years, $300 million. I think this is a big move for the Phillies. This was one of their weak spots last year, was the shortstop position. I think this strengthens that. We know Bryce Harper's going to be out for a little while. Definitely going to be out to start the year. But once this lineup comes together, I think you can argue this arguably is the best lineup in baseball, with Schwarber, with Harper, with Turner, with Castellanos, with Realmuto, with Hoskins. I think that this lineup is 7-8 deep. Segura too. This lineup is 7-8 deep when everyone's healthy, and I think you could argue this lineup might be one of the best in the game when healthy.
Yeah, they're right there. They're right there. I feel like with the Astros and Dodgers. Blue Jays got a pretty stacked lineup as well. In the way the Phillies ended the year last year, with how well they played, they gave the Astros a hard-fought 6-game series. Yeah, Harper's gonna miss some time, but yeah, bringing in Trey Turner, the Padres I think offered Turner like $350. He wanted to come back home, play in the East Coast. The Phillies are going to be really good. Yet again, they're going to be right there for the division. Yeah, that bullpen pitched better than it. I think a lot of people maybe thought last year. But yeah, they can add another bullpen guy. I think they signed Taijuan Walker too, but he struggled down the stretch last year.
They signed Walker. Yep.
Yeah, so he's nice. He's probably gonna be their third, fourth guy, somewhere right around there. So not bad for that. But I think the Phillies are right there. Their lineup's really good, and adding Trey Turner could one of the fastest guys in the game. Good contact here, but can hit for power as well. So yeah, that shortstop position kind of hurt them for most of last year. But yeah, adding Trey Turner was huge. I thought they were gonna get Bogarts with Dombrowski and Bogarts kind of in Boston, but they got Trey Turner.
Now the big question is, are they still the best team in the NL? I think they're in the mix. I don't think so. I think the NL is very deep, and they're going to miss Bryce Harper at the beginning of the year. And I don't think their bullpen's good enough, but they still have a very, very good chance of getting back to the World Series.
Yeah, they do. Dodgers, again, as always, they're going to be one of the more competitive teams. They got a great team. The Braves as well. We talked about the Mets. So, yeah, they're right there. But, yeah, with Harper missing some time, I want to see what they do with the bullpen this offseason. See if they can add another arm or two. But, yeah, right now I'd probably take the Braves or the Dodgers a little bit over them right now.
Yeah, it's a tough one. I'd probably go Braves. I probably would say the Braves are the best team. I think, they just had a bad series against the, we'll see what happens with Dansby Swanson. If they re-sign Swanson, I think they are. So we'll see what happens there. I mean, it's close. Everyone's close. Braves, Phillies, and Dodgers when Tatis comes back. Mets, I think, are still a level below because they really haven't proven it in the postseason. But yeah, those 5 teams, and then you look at the Cardinals too. Now getting Wilson Contreras, I think it's going to be fun in the National League with those 6 teams.
Yeah, there's going to be 6 teams there that could really compete there to go to a World Series. So yeah, which will make the postseason really fun to watch. There's some really good rosters on those those teams I constructed. But yeah, I think the Phillies are right there with the Braves, Dodgers right there as well. So yeah, I think you could pick either one of those 3. To be the best team. And, you can make an argument or you make a case for one of those 3, or for all those 3, I mean, but yeah, the National League is totally loaded and it's going to be fun to watch the season.
Oh, absolutely. It definitely will. So we'll wrap up talking about the Red Sox. And Kyan Bloom did show a little bit of progress. He did make a move today, signing Kenley Jansen to a 2-year, $32 million deal. The Red Sox, the bullpen has been a major issue over even the year they got to the ALCS. The bullpen's been an issue. It's been an issue ever since they didn't re-sign Craig Kimbrell. Today, they signed Kenley Jansen to a 2-year, $32 million deal. but the Red Sox got to do more. If they're going to compete in this AL East, they got to do a lot more than they did today. They got to be in on Rendon. They got to be in on him or Bassett. They got to be in on a starting pitcher. Absolutely, because they haven't re-signed Evaldi yet. Chris Sale, you can't trust, and the rest of the rotation is not good at all. So I don't even know Walker pitched well last year. You can't expect that from him every year. So yeah, the Sox need to be in on a starting pitcher, and I think they need to re-sign Bogarts, but seeing what they did last year, signing Trevor Story, it looks like they're not going to re-sign Bogarts.
Yeah, Boston, that bullpen really hurt them last year. That's been a problem the last couple of years for them. They haven't, Waka, they haven't re-signed yet. Baldy, I know they were in on Tyone, but they didn't end up pulling the trigger on him. They lost Matt Strom, who's probably their best bullpen arm last year. He's gone. So yeah, the Boston's got to be able to, or actually it was Schreiber, but he's probably their second best Strom last year. But yeah, Houck's going to come back healthy. He's been pretty good. Who can give you a couple innings out of the bullpen. Jansen's been pretty good. I know he's had his postseason problems, but he's been good in the regular season. But yeah, the Red Sox, the American League East with the Orioles playing, starting to kind of, they took that step last year. They're going to kind of be battling for a wild card spot this year. So yeah, they got to be able to find a way to sign Bogarts. I don't know. We'll see if this meeting did today, because it didn't sound great. It hasn't sounded great that he was going to come back, but yeah, we'll see what they do there. But yeah, they got some work to do. There's a lot of pressure on Chaim Bloom right now to get, especially what that Celtics and Bruins are doing. And I know the Patriots have their issues, but you got two really good teams in Boston, and if both those teams are going to be going for a while in the spring, if they're not bringing up a competitive team, April, May, and June may be some low ticket sales, and they raise their prices, so it could be a very slow start at Fenway next year. They don't do a ton.
If the Red Sox don't do much, if they're going to be relevant probably from April till Memorial Day, then the only time they're really going to be relevant is probably from Memorial Day till maybe August, if they're in it. Because I think if they don't make moves, they're going to be out of this. They're going to be out of this in the middle of August. If they don't, especially in this division, if they don't make moves, the Red Sox will be out of this in the middle of August, and it'll be another irrelevant September for the Boston Red Sox. And it was an irrelevant September in 2020. It was an irrelevant September in 2022. And then it could be another irrelevant September in 2023. And when you have 3 irrelevant Septembers in that market, you got to be fired. If they're not in contention in September, Chaim Bloom has got to be fired.
Yeah, I'm with you. Especially what Dombrowski just did with the Phillies. There's a lot of pressure on him now. Yeah, again, I don't know. Again, I know what he did at Tampa was impressive, but yeah, it's just way too much Tampa Bay stuff going on right now up there in Boston. It's something that they don't want. It's something that doesn't really fly with a market like that. It's not the Rays where you're not really going to hear from your fans at all. It's Boston. It's right there is one of the most passionate sports.
You hear the criticism of Bill Belichick this week. They're destroying Bill Belichick up there this week.
Oh yeah, and rightfully so for the stuff you were saying about Patricia.
Exactly,
but I know we'll get to those problems there in a little bit, but yeah, Boston, Chaim Bloom, it's got to, because again, I think Core's one of the best managers, and again, like even towards like the trade deadline last year and afterwards, he was kind of like he kind of thought like he wanted a little bit more out of this team, or Chaim to kind of do a little bit more. So I know Core's probably pushing him, but I don't know what like Kennedy and Henry want, because it's not like they wanted Chaim Bloom too to kind of, bring the cap threshold down. So, and if that's the case, it's not, you can't really do that in Boston. You just can't. It's not going to work if you're not winning.
Absolutely. I mean, if they're in for another year where they finish in last place, they need a new GM. They absolutely need a new GM, because they can't move forward with, if another last place finish, they cannot move forward with this guy.
No, and I know he's been doing a good job with the farm system, but I don't know how ready some of those guys are. But that only goes so far in a market as well as Boston. So yeah, they're really gonna have to move on. If it's another, they win less than 80 games again. Yeah, it's gonna be time to move on for them.
Exactly. Absolutely. So that's going to wrap it up for this episode on Sports Talk with R&J. But we are going to be back in about 5 minutes to talk about Week 14 of the NFL season and the college football playoff being set. Sorry about that. So make sure you tune in for that.
Jones on first down, wide open, it's Barkley. And Saquon Barkley will take it into the end zone.
Your best ability is availability. Saquon Barkley, he's great when he's on the field, but the problem is since 2018, he hasn't been healthy for this team.
Look at this. They lob it to him. He taps it in off the glass. How about that?
Porter Moser, I think right now is the best coach of college basketball, hands down.
Fins 2 for 3. He's done his part. Pitch is drilled to deep right field toward the pole, and it is gone.
They don't mind not being what they were in the 90s as the best organization in baseball, because the Yankees aren't even close to the best organization in baseball.
They're trying to be the Rays, and the Rays do this for a reason. Like, you're the Yankees.
Hello, my name is Joe Aguirre. I'm the president of Clovercrest Media Group, and here at CMG we have a wide variety of podcasts, including sports shows like Keys to the City, The Roll Call, Throwing Jabs, All Four Downs, and Jawing About the G-Men, and great true crime shows like Sticky Week, Crimes and Consequences, Ivy League Murders, and Bird, the unsolved murder of David Eichmann. You can find all these podcasts and so much more by visiting clovercrestmedia.com.